Hello and welcome back to John Collects Stamps. Today I've got a rather special episode. I've had some viewer mail this week, but I'm going to split that into two episodes because I think this particular piece of mail, or rather this parcel that I received, deserves its own episode. Now, I was contacted by one of my viewers, Grant Houston, so a big shout out to Grant. We've exchanged a few email messages and he basically said, I've got a collection of Isle of Man stamps that he'd purchased in an auction that he'd not had for long. It wasn't a collection that he'd put together, this is how he purchased it. And he'd bought this for a modest price, and that he wasn't really attached to it. And after watching my Isle of Man videos, he said, I'd like to give you these two albums of stamps. So what an absolutely fantastic and generous offer. So thank you very much, Grant, for sending these. Now, as you can see here, I've got two albums. These are the rather older fashioned type. They are actually springback albums. Now, if you're not familiar with a springback album, the pages are held in by the spine here. There's actually a spring, and I can show you the mechanism. It's a bit difficult to do it on camera actually. Let me just essentially what you do is you fold the front and back covers back like so, and as you apply pressure, let me see if I can do this, it releases the grip of the spring and you can remove all the pages. Now they're in this like little folder, this cardboard folder, so you can then line those up and drop those back in, and then you just release them again to carry on gripping the pages. So this is a collection that somebody has painstakingly put together, and yeah, it's an absolutely fantastically curated and collated collection, and the attention to detail is wonderful. Now, Grant said to me that I might want to put some of these stamps in my Darvo albums, and that may be the case going forward, but just for the time being, I don't want to actually break the collection up because of how well it's put together. Now, each page is essentially quadrille pages. That's these pages here with these small squares on, a bit like graph paper that you used to get in maths at school. And then it's got individual mounts for all the stamps, so nothing is hinged, everything is unmounted mint, or unhinged. Whether it be mint or used. There are some used stamps in here, but not very many. Nearly everything in this collection is a mint example, and there are some detailed handwriting descriptions on quite a lot of the stamps. Now, let me just show you here, and just look how neat and small that handwriting is. Absolutely fantastic. So we've got here, these are the Wilding regional issues, and again some further examples of those. We then move on to the 4 Machins that were issued for the Isle of Man. in 1971. These are the only 4 values that were ever issued, because the Isle of Man then gained its own independent postal administration in 1973. And then, as you can see, all the stamps are then held in here in these various mounts. So a lot of duplication with what I've got in the other collection, but this is just, I think this is just beautiful, the way that this is presented. It's a different take on presenting an album. Now, if I could write as small and as neatly as some of these are, I'd potentially look at doing something like this with my Great Britain collection, but my handwriting is really not up to this level, and I certainly can't write that small and that neat. But yeah, just nothing's cluttered. Each page is essentially just a few stamps, so everything is given plenty of space to kind of stand out on the page. And again, we've seen a lot of these stamps previously in the Darboux albums, you know, the TT stuff, the historic landmarks, the historic events of the island, like the Winston Churchill centenary of his birth, historical figures of the Isle of Man, just lots and lots and lots of wonderful got some miniature sheets here. One thing this collection doesn't have, it doesn't have as many miniature sheets attached to it as the collection that I bought, that I then populated the Darboux albums with. So yeah, the Darboux albums are coming along. I am continuing to make additions to those albums, and at some point I may actually cherry pick some stamps out of here to fill some gaps, but depending on the cost, I may just buy them again. But one thing, you know, I do appreciate Grant sending me this. I think it's an absolutely fantastic collection, and I've not stopped looking at it since it arrived last Monday. I'll just keep flicking through and just looking at the pages now. Again, this is an interesting set. There's an annotation here that says wrong spelling of the inscription Insularum, ending in EM. Now that's a Latin phrase. Now where is that? Is that on the grey one? Yeah. So on the grey stamp here, there's a little banner at the bottom, and he's put on here that the stamps were misprinted. This is a set from 1979. Wrong spelling of Insularum. And there's also a follow-up to that, which I found interesting. I'm not going to be able to find it now. I'm typical put myself under pressure on camera. And again, we've seen a lot of these before. There we go. And these have got the correction. Insularum, spelt with a UM. So they've actually reprinted these in 1980 with the spelling correction. So that's an interesting oddity to look for if you're a Isle of Man collector. You know, these are only 3p stamps. You know, these are, I think these are a definitive of sorts. I'm not sure. I'd have to double check with the catalogue. I'm not sure if the error is in the Collect Isle of Man stamps catalogue. I will have to have a look at that. And again, a lot more stamps. Now, there is an addition in here, which this is something I do like that's been added to this particular collection, and it's the addition of the PHQ cards. Now, these are postcards that represent the stamps. Now, the Royal Mail typically releases these for every issue of commemorative stamps. Essentially, the whole set is reproduced on a set of postcards, and as you can see here, there's 2 copies there of the same PHQ card, but one of them has the actual stamp of the same. So these are what we know as maxi cards, and these have been mounted using light photo corners, the little self-adhesive triangles that you stick to the page, and you've got the clear pocket, so you can just actually mount them by sliding the corners in and out. But yeah, I think that's fantastic. So that one's actually got the first day of issue cancellation on as well, and he's done that for the whole set. So like I say, whoever the collector was really meticulous. You know, the amount of time it must have took. You know, he's obviously going visiting the post office, buying 2 sets of the PHQ cards as well as the stamps, to then stick them on and to then get them cancelled with the first day of issue circular date stamp. You know, and it is the TT 150 years, 75 years. And again, there's a couple of loose ones here, so what I'm going to do, I think I'm going to, yeah, as you can see, that one's actually on the rear rather than on the front. He's not added the stamp to the front. So what I might do, I might actually mount those on this page over here. I do have some of those photo corners, so I'd probably mount that in that fashion, so you could see both sides, including the front and the stamp and the cancellation. And again, some more, again with the stamps and the cancellations. Then at the back, there's these few pages here. Now, the paper has changed, so I'm guessing these were out of a different album, out of a different collection, that have just been kind of stuck in the back, because as you can see here, these are actually hinged. And these are just random stamps, just more of a random collection of Isle of Man stamps. Some are in sets, but completely differently organised to how the rest of the album is. So yeah, these have obviously come from another source. And there's stamps of much later dates here as well. I think this album goes up to about 84, 83. So that's album number 1. And album number 2 is even thicker. You know, you can have a look at that. This is a Stanley Gibbons Tower stamp album. Now, I have added that myself there. I've added the Isle of Man gold label. I bought these labels from a company called Lighthouse. Well, I actually bought them from, is it Darwalders of Salisbury, stamp suppliers in Great Britain. And you get a sheet full of different labels, so it comes with well, I think there's 5 sheets in the series. You buy them separate, and it covers all countries, and you get several labels of the same country on each sheet. So I've got like Great Britain, it has like Machin, definitives, commemoratives, and then it has like the volume numbers, and you get like several of each volume number. So I'm starting to label my stock books up with these on the spines. But yeah, this is as you can see there, it's a Stanley Gibbons. Again, it's one of the springback albums, and the pages are all kept within this cardboard folder. So if we have a look in here, this is where the description of the stamps really does ramp up. Now it's got a nice glassine page over it. But yeah, as you can see here, we're getting more and more description on the stamps. So yeah, and we've got the use of the postcards and the maxi card. Look at that Vauxhall Chevette. It's a car one of my neighbours had, obviously not the rally version, just the standard road car version when I was a kid. Somebody on the street had a Vauxhall Chevette. I don't, if you're a US or European viewer, Vauxhall is the British arm of General Motors. So as you can see there, Vauxhall is like the griffin as the emblem. So anything that's released in Europe now as like an Opel or would be released in Britain as a Vauxhall. So like the small car, the Corsa, the Opel Corsa would have been a Vauxhall Corsa in the UK. The Vectra, things like that. These are cars that aren't, well, the Vectra's not made anymore, I don't think. But yeah, Vauxhall was, I think it was bought by General Motors because I think it was an older British car company. But yeah, I've had several Vauxhalls in my driving history. Some Vauxhall Cavaliers and a Vauxhall Nova SR, which was a sporty little hot hatch. We've got a nice, oh, look at that, Jaguar XJS. With the canvas roof that rolls back. Yeah, I used to get those in a V12, so beast of a car. And again, just so much time and effort had gone into putting these pages together. You know, it's got the date, the subjects of the stamps, and then the perforations for the stamps. And yeah, each one of these is in its own. And these are those ones with the top and bottom. They're not just like the top where the front lifts down. Yeah, I think now these are the show guard ones, whereas I think the Howard ones are the ones where it's just a flap. But yeah, I mean, look at the descriptive text there for that. Some miniature sheets. Absolutely fantastic. And again, more TT. And then again, we've got the postcards with a set of railways. Just absolutely wonderful. So much content. And like I said, so much time and effort gone into putting this together. I think this is a great example of how to set up an album if this is the way you wanted to do it. I mean, these mounts aren't stuck down fully. Is that Nigel Mansell's car? Yeah, Nigel Mansell, Williams Honda. Mansell's first win in the Williams Honda was at Brands Hatch in 1985. So yeah, Formula One. Again, 88, and again, so much descriptive text on these items. And again, the postcards. There's a bit at the back here which I thought was quite a timely a timely thing to look at and find in here. I don't know if you've watched Graham Beck's latest episode, and it's the Pitcairn Island, and he discusses the mutiny on the Bounty, and that's what this set of stamps is here. So we've got the Bounty off Pitcairn, William Bligh, Peter Haywood and Fletcher Christian, leader of the mutiny. And then we've got this miniature sheet. Mutiny on the Bounty, 1989, 79 to 89, so this is the bicentenary. And then a postcard with that same description. Now we've got the associated miniature sheets from both Norfolk Islands and the Pitcairn Islands, so it looks like the same stamps were used for the different countries. So that's the Norfolk Islands, and then these are the Pitcairn Islands. So yeah, the same design was used on the stamps. And this looks like, yeah, this is a booklet, isn't it? These are booklet pages that have been removed. The stitching's been cut on the booklet, and we've just mounted the booklet panes. So again, yeah, this is all the stamps. Interesting story, the Bounty. And like I say, Graham Beck at Exploring Stamps has a great episode on that came out this past week, so go and give that a look if you haven't already. But again, yeah, so World Wildlife Fund for Nature, or Worldwide Fund for Nature. "125th anniversary of the Red Cross." And again, just so much descriptive text on these pages. So yeah, an absolutely fantastic addition to my collection. And you know, Grant Houston, thank you so much for sending me these. I'm so blown away by, you know, the generosity of people, you know, with items like this. This is just, I find it mind blowing. And you know, they are in a good home, because I do appreciate these, and I will respect them, and I will look after them. And you know, these are now part of my collection. That you know, if I'd have got one of these albums as a kid, like this, you know, from maybe 50 years prior, I'd have been absolutely delighted. And this gives me that same, it gives me that same feeling, just seeing these old albums. And you know, that's why I don't really want to break the collection up. I want to keep it in its, you know, the pages they're obviously decent quality pages. They're not, there's no yellowing, there's no foxing or anything, so I'm guessing this is acid-free paper. So I don't think there's any, I mean, the stamps are all in these mounts anyway, so I don't think there's any risk to the stamps in these albums. You know, it's, again, everything's white pages, nothing, doesn't seem to be any detriment to the pages. And yeah, I think it's an absolutely fantastic collection. And even though I'm collecting and populating the Darbo stuff, you know, this is something else. This is just another sort of part of my Isle of Man collection now, and I am genuinely grateful. I know I keep saying it, Grant, but genuinely grateful that this has been sent to me. Absolutely fantastic. So anyway, I was right about one thing last week. I did say that there would be sunshine streaming through this window to my right, so I've got a bit of natural light here today. I've still got artificial light as well, just to assist, but yeah, the spring is definitely sprung. We're into double digits now. I think we're on 11 degrees Celsius today in where I am in the UK. So definitely warming up, and I'm getting a really nice warm glow coming through the window here. And I'm just sat here in wearing a t-shirt. I don't have a jumper on or a sweatshirt, just sat in a t-shirt. So yeah, definitely warming up. I'm now off work for a week. I've got the Easter weekend off next weekend, but I'm off all week this week, which I'm really looking forward to. I've got some great ideas to help tidy up some of my stamp albums and my stock books. So there will be, because I've got a lot of free time this week, there'll probably be a couple of episodes during the week. Now, I'm hoping that the King Charles III stamps arrive from the Royal Mail on Tuesday. And if they do, I will be doing the 750 subscriber, I said viewers in the last episode, I mean 750 subscriber giveaway. So that will be coming this week, regardless of whether those stamps arrive this week or not, but those stamps will be included for the winner. And then, as I've said, there's going to be 3 runners-up prizes. Just a smaller thing, whereas you know, there are several items for the winner in that giveaway. But because it's been a couple of weeks, I'm just blown away. I'm now on 800. I've hit 800 subscribers. So you know, it's just something that seems to have overtaken itself. Now, I want to be completely transparent about the future of the channel, and you know, there's always an elephant in the room with subscribers, and it's to do with monetization. Now, my idea is at some point that I will monetize the channel. If you've been and watched any of my older videos of late, this past week or so, you may have noticed that some of them have got different music at the start and the beginning and the ending, and this is because I have a copyright claim on the music that I was using. I was incorrectly informed when I first started the channel. I'd found a piece of music, and I was informed on the site where it came from that this could be used on YouTube, and it could be used whether you're monetized or you didn't. It wouldn't have any effect. But it then turns out that that's not the case. So thankfully in the YouTube editor, it allows you to remove, well, not remove, but you can mute music, and it allows you to add and overlay a different track. But you will notice that, you know, it cuts off a bit abruptly onto the music, and I'm not 100% pleased with it. But the only other alternative would be to take the video down, to re-render it from using the source video, which I've got. I've got all my original source videos on my NAS, but it becomes a new video. So it loses all its comments, all its likes, all the other stuff, and for me that just wasn't worth it. So I thought, well, the compromise is it's only a few seconds of music. You know, I'm not claiming to be a professional editor or anything. Going forward, you know, those music clips have been tidied up so that from anything starting from today's episode, we'll have the nicely fading out music rather than just the cut off abruptly music. But yeah, and you know, monetization can be quite a funny, you know, sticky subject. But you know, my idea is if I want to improve the channel, if I want to buy a better camera, which I do, I don't want to just for the rest of the future of this channel, then you know, monetization will help to, you know, allow me to invest that back into the channel. You know, I do these giveaways, and that's coming out of my pocket. I don't make any money out of the channel. Okay, I'm not bothered about making money out of the channel, but it's just that I would like to do more, if you get what I mean. I'd like to get some better lighting. I'd like to get, like I say, a better camera, and just have a much better setup for producing the content. And it'd also allow me to buy things that I wouldn't normally buy that I can then use as content. So, you know, I don't intend to use any monetization for anything other than improving the channel or buying material for the channel, whether it's for giveaways or whether it's just items that I can't currently afford that I would like to add and do a piece on. So I hope that doesn't upset or offend anybody, that, you know, that I might want to make a little money out of the channel. But like I say, it's all for the improvement of the channel rather than just me sticking some money in my back pocket. Because I do enjoy doing this for no money. So it'd be just nice that, you know, I've got that opportunity to improve things. So I don't envisage that I'll ever be hitting any ridiculous heights anyway. I mean, the monetization may turn out to be that it's just not worth doing based on the number of subscribers and views and whatever. It may not be of a point of actually doing it. And if that's the case, then so be it. That's fine. We'll just carry on as we are. So yeah, I just want to be transparent and honest about that. But one thing will not change, and that is my passion for the hobby. And, you know, I'm so glad that I started this channel, because it's allowed me to interact with so many people. And, you know, I've received some fantastic items, as in these. You know, I've also been able to do the giveaways, and also some behind the scenes giveaways. You know, I have actually sent stamps to various people, you know, to help them along with their catalogues, and that's purely based on comments that were made. You know, I say something about something, and I'll say, well, I've got some stamps that can help you out with that. So email me your address and I'll send them to you. So that is the case. You know, I don't keep all my duplicate stamps because I don't see the point. I'd rather them go to another collector to enjoy. So yeah. So anyway, as I said, I'm off this week. There'll be a couple more videos coming. Keep an eye out for that 750 subscriber giveaway. You know, the next biggie after that is 1,000, which is like, whoa. And again, I've got a couple of ideas of what I want to give away in that, but I'm not going to say anything at the moment. And like I said in the last episode, it may be geographically restricted to the UK, purely because of the postage cost. But again, I may do a 2-tier giveaway for the 1,000 subscribers. So there's an international prize and a UK only prize. That might be a fairer way of doing it. So you enter one or the other. I think that would be probably a good idea. But we'll worry about that nearer the time. So anyway, thank you for watching. If you've enjoyed this video, please consider giving me a thumbs up. If you're not already, if you could consider subscribing and hitting that notification bell. And yes, that's about it for today. I hope you have a lovely rest of your Sunday, and if you're celebrating Easter in whatever way you do, I hope that that's something that you can all look forward to next week. And I will say keep safe, stay warm. I'm not having any problems with that at the moment because I've got the sun beaming through the window at me, so that's all really good. I'm definitely a sunshine person. I don't like cold weather. I don't like rain. And hopefully I will see you in the next one. So goodbye for now. Take care.